still without a win. Incredibly close versus the younger Brazilian squad in Furia, of course. That one going into overtime in the third map. It was wild. It was action-packed. And I can only hope that this series delivers the same. But I think it will. So buckle in, folks. It's Team Liquid and MIBR starting on Overpass.
It's going to be a tight series. I really do think it's going to go to 3 maps. The two teams here are both kind of punching below their weight right now, slightly struggling. MIBR just slightly ahead, but Liquid we know are good enough to beat them. Plus they have so much experience that, you know, they're missing a few shots. They could still make it up in tactics and reads.
100%.
Pressure here, yeah, into the stairs. There is a concave of CTs around them. Nafly is going to be the most important figurehead.
Yeah, Nap and then Twist inside of the bathrooms, but they actually circumvent him, completely avoid him, and that's going to give him a little bit of space to play. Now, it's threatening for Twist that he loses the teammate behind, but he still has a chance to move forward, and in doing so, he stops that bomb, goes in for a second kill versus Taco, but that's where his play comes to an end. Now, all 4 of MIBR's members have been tagged to near half health, so it's not impossible for Liquid to get back into this. Certainly helps when the boost pans out, but Taco, little drive-by, Elige back at bat. Of course, again, doing the damage. He's got 2 kills to his name and knows exactly where the last members are at. Taco tries to sprint into the open. Elige hits it, reloads. No, swaps guns, in fact. And he's looking for something. Looking for the kit, the smoke. The smoke was stuck outside of the map, just in the corner. So now, even though he has the kit, he still doesn't have that cover. So he's just going to try to stick this. Fur comes out and understandably headshots him off of it. Unfortunate that the retake equipment falls short.
Yeah, just out of reach. That's so sad. Now, a Twist position in the bathrooms is only bad if they knew where he was. But since they didn't, he was able to get some of this kind of lurk kill. And Nafly receding was such a smart move in the first place, but MIBR took him out and then performed this crunch on the A site that they absolutely should have. They had every right to do so. So smart move there on the pistol, coming up through stairs, but also applying pressure towards mid.
Pressure this time, of course, from that scout, but misses its shot. I gotta say, I feel really bad for Elige. I mean, he had to play, you know, the communication was there for Liquid, clearly telling him there's a smoke kit behind you, go get it. We've seen plenty of smoke defuses in the last few days. That one definitely could have been yet another, but listen, it slides by. And with their buy, Team Liquid are still standing strong. They haven't actually used these utilities early. They've got these boosts set up inside a short. So Stewie waits for his verse victim. And Fallen and Fur are going to come down here at the exact same time. He hits the headshot but doesn't get the kill. And then poor Twist is chased, hunted down by the Brazilians. Nap unable to get anything. And hot damn MIBR just exploding with ferociousness into this B bomb site. TRK clearing Nitro from the water. And then we start to see that scout do damage. But a little too little, a little too late.
Elige has been not himself recently. He's had performances that are up and down. Versus Chaos, he kind of struggled to find himself. Versus Furia, he did okay. He did pretty good. But in general, there's more red than there is black in his most recent matches. If we compare that to a month or two before. And I think that's what has shined out performances on a consistent basis. For oh, excuse me. I just choked. versus lower tier teams. I just ate oatmeal and I got an oat in my throat.
Man's got oats in his throat.
Oats in my throat.
You all right? Take a sip of water, my friend. Take your time. We want you back at, 100%. Please don't die on broadcast.
Break.
All right, I'm going to have to... That would really put the pressure on me. Don't be so selfish.
You've done a lot of solo casting in your life. I'm sure you can handle it. I wouldn't
More than likely so. But speaking of getting handled, hey, Team Liquid try to go forward with their minimal pistols, understandably cut down. So MIBR not only getting their first, converting very strongly in the second, but now just making mincemeat of Elige's teammates. He does find a little bit of timing behind them, but the timing still favors MIBR as they'll circumvent any last threat and move over towards that B site.
I think I just coughed a lot on the mic. I think I realized I was supposed to mute the Google Hangouts. I apologize to everybody at home listening. I only muted Discord there for a second. But Yeah, well, you got Elige now alone again, looking for a kill if he can find it. On Overpass, we saw, I think, Team Liquid play against Chaos on this map, and
Yeah.
I think they ended up actually losing, if I'm not mistaken. They were 16-13 versus Chaos on Overpass, which was quite a surprise because Liquid are obviously a much more seasoned team than Chaos on Overpass. They play it as one of their primary maps versus Astralis in their BO3s, so they've had a lot of the last year playing Overpass at a high level, and obviously the map hasn't changed much. But yeah, it's been a string of nothing but surprising results for Team Liquid. Just trying to pile onto that statistic.
Ouch. That was a strong double Molotov there. Fallen, he extinguished the first one, but still loses half his health. I think that, you know, it's important to remember that with the Chaos upset versus Liquid on Overpass, a lot of that hinged on the entry fragging success of Jonji. And if we look to the entry fragger of MIBR, Taco, you know, you can criticize his individual play. It's definitely there for you if you want to pick that fruit. But he has had one of his most successful maps of like the last year and a half just in the last few days. So MIBR, we've seen signs of life from them.
Mm-hmm. Every once in a while, Taco gets 30 kills. I know what you mean. The thing is with Taco is like he has put himself into like an irreplaceable position with all the spots that he plays across all maps. On top of how well he knows the MIBR system, Stewie was one of the best options to fill in the gaps when it came to Taco, and that's why the team was very successful with Stewie on it. But without him or Stewie, there's not really anybody else that's going to play all the small sites in the same positions that Taco will play. On top of being one of the more hard supports in the game.
Sometimes it's easy to forget that Stewie and Tarek played for the Brazilians. But here we have them pushing out through the bathrooms. They've lost their player over on long A, and this is definitely going to help Team Liquid as they double up on the long presence and have another man right behind the dice box. So calling out this execution from MIBR, really stacking the bomb site, but regardless, they are left into that even 2v2. Elige alone, he has to reload, and he gets that fresh mag in. Fur peeks the smoke and falls because of it. What can KNG pull off here? He is 5-1. And he's gotten the flank already. He cuts Twists down at the knees. Elige with 3 and a frag on his back. He's going to try and walk forward here. KNG goes for the peek and loses out in the clutch. That's Team Liquid on the board.
So smart from Elige. And I think he actually uses him spraying through the smoke and using every bullet of his mag to bait out a peek to get him a kill. It gave him a better chance to get that first kill than if you were to just stand there, because nobody's going to come around the smoke to fight him straight on. And him being for a few more seconds while they deal with him. Then the rotations come in, and they may not need as many nades as they didn't have on the retake attempt. And also the man advantage over that. So now they're back on pistols. Twist the only one to save his M4. They have kind of picked the right half of the map. MIBR outside of Monster. But immediately the rifle goes down.
Somebody there to take the place, though. This is still very much a trap and a half. Team Liquid, lots of bodies inside of short. MIBR going to try to sprint in through Monster, but hell, Liquid's still able to get back into position. The Brazilians actually kind of cool it off a bit. Want to make sure that they employ the utilities they have at their favor. A deep water position from Elige is checked. There's a world where Stewie connects the spam, and yes, sir, there she is. He's going to go ahead and move back around Monster as Nitro is already done. Taco comes to check this. Crisp first headshot, but now Taco pins still between 2 CTs. Stewie trying to get out is turned back around, and Nap never had a chance. He's been on this USP since the get-go. Taco doing good work here in the anti-eco. It was a round where Liquid definitely flustered the T's, but unable to actually rob the round.
Taco, he won that shoulder peek game versus Nitro. Nitro played it very passive. I think he was waiting for a teammate to come back through short to take line of sight behind him, to either die first so he wins the trade, or maybe catch Taco if the peek is too wide. But Taco is laser sharp with the amount of space that he gave and how tight he came into the angle. So there was no chance there for Nitro to live. Taco with the 3 kills definitely saves the round. I also really liked how Fur changed his nade trajectory upon seeing Elige cross into the back of pit. First, it was off to short. Smoke went on to short to make sure no one else could go through. When he spotted Elige, he was aiming at the back of pit, but then decided to bounce it off in case Elige came up to play headshot, landed right on him. Made it a lot easier to take out Elige as well.
Big old buy back in. MIBR wanting to get into that short control. Look at the Molotovs here. 4 of them. 2 per team. Taco keeping an eye on that boost. Always a looming threat. But they'll hope to crack open this site with a quick entry. Gotta be cautious. There's Twist and Stewie on the...
To try that tactic, and yeah, he's sitting there waiting for them to peek.
Tell me if you feel the same, but I have, I have this feeling that Twist has been bullied on that B site from the start of this. Okay. Hold on. Elige getting blind deagle kills. That's a hell of a way to start this off. But what we've seen from MIBR is anytime they have any kind of adversity in these sorts of advantageous rounds, they just kind of slow things down, go through the motions, make sure they use that utility to minimize the second chance for Liquid. But hell, good start from Elige connecting the Deeg headshot.
Let's see if they can squeeze water from stone and pull off this eco round.
There's a lot of bodies close and a second for free. 100 HP on everyone for Liquid until Naf has to spend a bit to get another kill, but that's huge. TRK and Fallen, 2 versus 4. And Elige, the booby trap in mid. He has a chance where he can even find Fallen, the grandfather of Brazilian Counter-Strike. 45 seconds for him to try and work this. He even has to get that bomb back. So as long as the CTs go for their peaks appropriately, time it all well, they should die. But hey, there's a chance here. Fallen swapping back to the op, loses out versus Nafly. Team Liquid, this is kind of a second chance for them, a blessing even, as they use the Deagles to rob back around. They are still trailing by 5. They still have glaring issues here on Overpass, but it definitely helps when you can just get a cheeky round like this.
For their confidence, probably went like they're probably going to look at it as their last chance this half, where they pull off a round like that, they get a small boost of confidence. They don't win this right.
Opping with success. Underhand flashbang makes things a little bit weird here. Fur, he will find that offer, but Elige is still behind him, unbeknownst to him. He was the last man standing too, so tough one for MIBR, but Team Liquid, little breath of life here at the end of the first half. They are working with a minimal round count. Getting that 4th one is crucial, but I would argue following up with a 5th or 6th is even more important.
Yeah, I agree, because otherwise it feels like they're basically conceding the map. But if you get the 5 and 6, they can kind of mentally get back into it. It just the things that MIBR have gotten with this half make you
slightly better than Twists. Scream in 2015 posted an obscene, I like the rhymes, 68.4% headshot rate, and in 2014 it tipped over 70%. That man is a cyborg, and you can't convince me otherwise.
And that's comparing 1 year to 6 months, right?
True.
I think Twist.
Right. Yeah,
months,
even more.
Yes, makes that stat even stronger. Yeah, that's how good he
Holy
was.
mackerel.
He's treated us to some of the most amount of amazing frag clips that we've ever seen. So, cheers to you, Scream.
Ain't no headshot like a Scream headshot. Hey, this is something we haven't seen. MIBR actually coming in without a full buy. Finally relegated down to the halvesies of Tech-9s, Deagles, and a P250. Good, or at least decent pieces of utility with it. Naf's going to get a little bit of info there. He definitely spotted one inside of Con. Gets the confirmation that, yeah, they're there.
You didn't just say the confirmation, did you? The confirmation. There we go.
Confirmation confirmed. Oh, yeah.
Shoulder can be a bit too much. Yeah, he can post up on now his more favorite pass angle within the site. Ooh, okay, Fallen's a bit wider than he expected.
Always good for one, it seems, that off, but wow, Taco just so on.
To their T side, tension to A, tension towards B. some monster contact rushes, some full executes towards A site. I think a fake or two involved as well. So reading their T side before it happens will be quite difficult. I think they have their options open, but I have talked about in the past how, you know, one of the biggest trials for Liquid on their T side of Overpass is dealing with B executes because of how strong they are with the correct grenades and specifically the correct flashes. There have been a number of clips of people versus Astralis that have been sitting in the site somewhere that have been flashed for nearly 10 seconds straight because of the continuation flashes that can come from Short and Monster. And I'm sure Liquid have studied this to a T and probably want to incorporate it into their game. I expect to see some shades of that when it comes to their B takes, and I'd like to see more kind of proactivity towards this side of the map as opposed to A. And here we already have some pressure outside of Monster.
Yeah, Lige gonna be the ooh baby twist through the smoke, lines up Taco, and this B side's gonna get real messy. Lige, as you said, already kind of out from Monster, was so ready to hit this bomb site, and that's the thing. It's like Lige was trying to serve as the trigger for the execute, but that smoke spam is really what just comes out of nowhere and serves as the saving grace. Didn't mean Lige actually had to take a straight up duel. They were already working the man advantage, and it's nearly a team ace. If they were to let Stewie get one, they'd have it done and dusted. KNG, 17 HP, CZ in hand, and Nap's gonna drop him with a pistol of his own. So Team Liquid straight into the second half, tie up the game, 3 rounds to start their T side, and it's 9 apiece.
I think a defining factor of this game so far has been that Lige has picked up his form for this map and is standing high above his stats already for the last time they played on Overpass. But then, conversely, Taco has also started punching way above his weight and was a nemesis on their T side. So we'll see if that continues on in a CT side for both of these players. And if it's only one, I would expect to see that team lead because they both were kind of the critical components of the rounds won in that first half. Lots of great damage here done to the man in question, Taco, as well as his good friend TRK. Liquid swing in here above the stairs, around the bathrooms, and look to apply pressure to A.
They're keeping things simple. They've grouped really nicely these last few rounds, and this one's no different. Lots of bodies for Liquid here outside of the bathroom. Spallin fully flashed, not going to stop him from getting the first kill, but Nitro so quickly moving forward there. Did not want his op to get on cycle. Stewie executes Taco with his head turn, so this is a 10th for Team Liquid. They're the first team to hit the double digits, and this T side, I've seen no weaknesses out of it yet.
It's pretty much a perfect round in a lot of ways. They get the unconfirmed damage on the B site. They're able to hold for the flank, rotate on stairs. They get the initial 2-for-1 trade on the A site, and so the players left over are either hurt or in bad rotational spots, and they don't give MIBR a lot of time to get into position as well. This is the kind of round you'd like to have go. This is the kind of round you'd like to be able to see on the T side over and over again. It's obviously not going to be the case, but it's a nice sign for Team Liquid.
How about a parting gift? And B rush. I love it. Coming into the gun round 2, you know, finally MIBR thinking that they're going to have some sort of a stance to hold, and they hesitated for nothing. I mean, again, Taco, he knew he had been mollied out, but he was still trying to extinguish the fire by the time Stewie comes running around.
Such an open site to just throw flashes. And you can be, it's a real creative sandbox when it comes to your utility coming into the B site. You're a bit more limited from just the monster side, but you combine that with the fast timing. And if MIBR don't have the correct spawn or don't have enough utility or don't feel like you're going to rush, will not throw that much utility at monster, and just missing that one Molotov or not throwing a grenade or not having a flash pop before you throw yours, then it's going to be over in the blink of an eye. We saw how easy it was for Stewie when he got that first kill to get the second. The second player was still very blind.
You didn't even get to throw it.
I didn't even see Stewie. Yeah.
Boom. And KNG as well, kind of flashed in the process. So combination of incredibly quick pace and some very well thrown flashbangs. Just solid set piece from Team Liquid. Does knock MIBR down a peg, but at least it's not one of those situations where the Brazilians have to come back in with pistols or save in one of those moments. No, they will still have their buy. Sure, there's a FAMAS on the board, but so be it. 3 rounds the difference now. Team Liquid, 12-9. They have so much money in their bank accounts as well. 3 players over the $10,000 mark.
6 rounds in a row here for Team Liquid. Nice shot there from Fallen. And no matter how much pressure has been put on Fallen, he's always found a way to get a kill. And anytime that it's around going towards that, he has been very, very good. So that's a good opening 5v4. Now we saw that Team Liquid, when they went down 4v5, it almost always ended up going down 5v3. Is that going to be the case here? They're going to be able to find a way to answer back. Taco tagged on his way back into pit. But yeah, they're in very passive spot. The NAF gets activated once again.
Twist through smoke to find KNG, who is again posted up on that graffiti corner. Last round it's Stewie, this time it's NAF. And I was thinking to myself, great little, shift up from Taco, as opposed to trying to stand inside of the Molotov and extinguish it. He jumps back into the water, completely changing his position. Very freshly remembering that he was gunned down in the round prior. So even that isn't enough, because NAF finds a different routing through the deep. Up a headshot of his own. What do you know? A second through bank. That disgusts me. But low health. And TRK is going to come winding around through the bathrooms. If he finds back's turn, these should be easy pickings. He gets that first one confirmed, takes down the player behind it. So he knows NAF's there, but NAF with solid cover and an even more solid headshot. Team Liquid still win the 4v5, 2 rounds in a row.
4v5, they won that 4v2. I think, yeah, they had, because Fur got 2. They got the opening kill with Fallen as well, and then they 2v4'd them coming on to the fight.
4v5 to the 2v4, and they still walk away with it.
Man, that's unforgivable, of course. Fur, he's got to be so pissed off.
Oh, wow, this is just going to be a fast one, though. I like it. MIBR, it's not Fallen peeking down short pipe, but rather a little connector control. I think that Fur saw the opening there, because last round he was alone towards bathrooms and there was absolutely nothing coming out of Liquid. So they decide to get aggressive, take their connector, get their first kill, and walk away. They sort of have to. It cost them one of their own, and Fallen's also susceptible, seeing as he sits on 46.
Middle of the map control here taken by the T's. Supporting grenades go out to clear the outside of bathrooms. Unclear for MIBR if it is towards A or if this is just a default where they mull around, make sure no one can push. KNG will be stuck behind the smoke, and once it comes up, maybe we'll get line of sight. Don't know if they'll push, but they might be able to use the information. TRK hasn't used this spot, so yeah, it's going to catch him off. Nitro, 1-for-1 trade, not so bad, but Taco's there immediately to pick up the slack.
Ooh, eating those flashbangs yet again. Successful. Taco gonna get called back into action here. Looks to lock down short and does so. MIBR
pulls off the pop-up. That was actually a really nice try by Twist. Holy smokes. They thought he had him for sure. The fake plans end up being the smart move. And they do so well to actually get this round close. Yeah, because MIBR's trades were good before they initiated the fight. But here's the call out once again. They try for the boost on sandbags to kill Stewie, and there's where you think there's one over on Liquid. But Liquid go, okay, you guys have 2 in the back of the site. That means Monster's weak once again. They push it right away and trade out favorably.
Pushing right away here in this 26th round too. Elise just flies past Party. Catches MIBR again, trying to go for some sort of a connector presence. We saw them establish opening kills there in these last couple of rounds. It took 8 in a row from Liquid before MIBR could respond, and they barely, by the skin of their teeth, follow suit there. That last round was 100% Fur versus Twists. Fur gets 2 from the heaven, Twists opens up the site, and then both those players tasked in the 1v1. Exhilarating couple of rounds we've had here, but as we hit the minute mark, things are starting to fall silent, and that bomb doubles back through spawn.
I really love this. I think, they've done enough work here at A. 4v4, if I'm Liquid, I'm taking B all day in this situation. I don't think just MIBR can justify an early third rotate unless it's a really hard read. Fallen would make that read sometimes, but it's really difficult right now for MIBR to justify it, and they know they have the support to trade out. They just haven't been able to do it thus far. So the double monster setup might be smart, but it really is going to come down to both TRK and Taco now individually.
Ooh, and that opens up short so wide for Team Liquid to arrive. I mean, again, if they come charging out through the monster, then that 2-man setup could do work, but they had no flash assist. You saw TRK become discomforted because of the execute from Liquid, And that works out perfectly. Like you said, a 4 versus 4, Team Liquid head B any day of the week, and you see why. Definitely helps that they had that split going for them, and it definitely helps that the short players came out first. This is a 15th for Team Liquid, 4 map points for them to close with.
MIBR have been keeping them in a vice grip by maintaining, getting the 5v4, trading out, whatever. But yeah, this round, they kind of get away with their default and trade out 1-for-1 on the opening. That's all they really need to go back to what they know works. Fallen gets a consolation frag. Well,
nice.
More than that, he saves the op where it's 15-11 and they have no money to buy any good guns. Basically, they're going to be able to drop 2 rifles. 2 people can armor up, and there'll be a couple of pistoling players without rifles if they want to do this properly.
Small note, but props to Fallen there. Even reading the counter heaven boost from Team Liquid as they tried to take that op back. He was outnumbered, certainly not outgunned. Here we go. First map point for Liquid, and it seems like Nafly could be walking right into the totem pole here inside of Connector. And unfortunately for MIBR, not only are they being burned out of the bottom of this, but if they try and retreat, they are walking into the firing range. Naf, both headshots, just obliterates the con control, and now that one op that Fallen saved in the previous round, it's the only primary gun that MIBR will have to try and hold off in this 3v5. Dire straits, I'd say.
Yeah, they're about to close the book on this one. Pistol on the site. Taco, 20-20. Stellar first half. Even did good in some of the trades in the second half, but all that B pressure appeared to be a bit too much to handle. Nice 1D, though.
Yeah, tries to dodge the flash to get the deagle up for a second. Fallen, he's trying to move that off inwards, but he will have to clutch this huge 1 versus 4. He finds no more. It's Team Liquid 6